This is the Leitmotif and Movement Podcast, a father and son's journey into the vast worlds of music. I'm your host, Mike Ficklin, and joining me on this epic musical journey is my son,
Michael Ficklin.
This show is dedicated to the discussion of music and introducing Michael to music from the past and present. We discuss music mainly from the genres of rock, hard rock, and heavy metal. We also, from time to time, dive into film and video game scores, and we sprinkle in some surprises along the way. Michael, what you been listening to this week?
I listened to the new Periphery record, A Pale White Dot.
Oh boy, let's get into that.
I enjoyed it. It's definitely a switch up from their other albums, but I enjoyed it. It grew on me.
It's definitely a switch up in the way that their song structures aren't nearly as long. They're a little more concise, kind of trimmed the fat, if you will, to make the songs a bit more radio friendly, I think. Oh, I hear the chuckle. Yeah, what were you about to say? Sorry.
There were a couple of songs that I wasn't the biggest fan of, but I enjoyed my listen through it every time.
Yeah? How many times have you listened to it since it came out?
Probably like 12 times at this point.
You're not a big Periphery fan at all, are you? Yeah, this is the 8th full-length record from the American progressive metal band. Right off the bat, I can say that this is definitely a much different sounding record from the band. Far less proggy in sound and more of a straight-up, gent-infused metalcore record. That's not to say that the band has lost its edge, though. There's plenty of heavy, hard-as-hell moments on this record. On the whole, it does feel more deeply personal and emotional than previous records. Opener Obsession comes in with a synth keyboard opening and Spencer Sotelo clean vocals. However, the chorus goes hard with the heavy down-tuned guitars and Sotelo unleashing his growls. Hawk goes straight for the jugular. Genty, face-melting guitar riffs, Sotelo's growled vocals. The song does open up for a more melodic chorus with a clean vocal performance. I do want to mention that just because the song lengths have been slimmed down somewhat, there's still plenty of tasty guitar licks to be found from Misha Mansour, Mark Holcomb, and Jake Bowen. Matt Halpern's drums also sound fantastic. They're very punchy and thunderous. It's also worth noting that Sotelo experiments with some lower range cleans on a few of the songs. Did you notice that, Michael?
Yes. Yes, I did.
What did you think about that?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was different. Different is good sometimes, right?
Yep.
The first single from the album, Mr. God, has some very punchy low end. It sounds dark and sinister. The added synth work over the top provides some additional unsettling atmospherics. Heaven on High is a power ballad complete with a big anthemic chorus and an outstanding guitar solo. It also features a very heavy breakdown section complete with some growled vocals. I think Heaven on High might be my second favorite song on the record, if not in competition for my favorite.
Agreed.
Subhuman is a heavy-as-hell track that features some guest vocals from Lorna Shore frontman Will Ramos. Some other standout tracks for me include Malevolent, Everyone Dies Alone, and the emotional acoustic instrumental closer, A Pale White Dot. There are a couple of misses on the record for me. I'm just not a fan of Unlocking or Blackwall. They're more synth-driven. Unlocking does feature a fun arpeggio section that leads into a heavy breakdown, but on the whole, just not a big fan. Maybe it'll grow on me. A Pale White Dot is a worthy entry into the Periphery discography, even despite its flaws. I enjoyed my listen-throughs thoroughly, Each time I listen, I pick up something new. This gets a Pick of the Week nomination from me.
Wow. High praise.
Yes, sir. Michael, what else you been listening to, buddy?
Nothing really.
Nothing?
Nope.
You ain't even gone back and listened to any more of the new Seven Dust record?
No, not yet.
All right. So, just been too busy for music, or?
Just haven't felt like music, really.
Okay. For a man that loves music, that's odd to hear. For me, I checked out the new record from the Black Veil Brides titled Vindicate. This is the 7th studio album from the American hard rock band. The album opens up with a 2+ minute spoken word track titled Invocation to the Muse. It opens with the sounds of an organ. The speech is delivered kind of like a preacher delivering a message to his congregation. This leads into the title track of the record. There's a weird poppy sounding opening to the song before we get into the much heavier song proper. Vocalist Andy Biersack delivers the vocals in both his crooning cleans and screaming format. It's a fun opener. Musically, the album on the whole sounds like modern hard rock, heavy metal bands. It's like a mix of Atreyu and Seven Dust. There is an obligatory power ballad featuring Lilith Czar titled Cut. It's a pretty good song, if not a bit cliched. Tracks Alive and Revenger feel like the heaviest songs on the record. Biersack delivers the vocals mostly in a scream growl, while the choruses are clean. There's a pretty tasty solo from Pitts, also on Alive. At the halfway point of the album, there's an orchestral piece titled Purgatory Overture 4. Later, there's a second orchestral piece titled Grace Interlude. Both pieces are like taking a deep breath before taking the next plunge. Christian Coma's drums sound fantastic. They're absolutely thunderous. Lead guitarist Jake Pitts provides a bit of shredding here and there. Check out his solos on songs like Bleeders, Hallelujah, Alive, and Ave Maria. The production is very slick and modern. There's some big walls of sound, but the sonics are dynamic and varied so that you can pick out the various textures. Some standout tracks for me include the aforementioned Vindicate, Hallelujah, Alive, Revenger, and Ave Maria. Vindicate is a solid listen on the whole. I enjoyed my time with it. I also checked out the new EP from a band called Into Again. The title of the EP is Coins, Currency, Tokens, and Other Related Objects. It's the second EP from this Connecticut post-hardcore band, but the first one that I've ever listened to. I saw a couple of recommendations of this EP floating around with people saying it reminds them of Glassjaw. That certainly piqued my interest, so I gave it a shot. I'm so glad that I did. This EP reminds me of everything you ever wanted to know about Silence era Glassjaw, from the raw, manic sounds of the music to the sort of off-key, whimsical vocal delivery and tone of frontman Jay Torbla. In fact, Torbla seems to be a dead ringer for Glassjaw frontman Daryl Palumbo. Opener Combo has a raw post-hardcore energy to it, very reminiscent of Glassjaw's song Siberian Kiss. Shed Hunting features a guitar tone that reminds me very much of Justin Beck's tone from the early Glassjaw era. I love Chris Torok's drum sound on this record. There's a lot of pop to the toms and snare. The bass kick drum has a deep, thunderous sound. New Miss Maddock reminds me of the kind of song you might hear in What It Is to Burn era Finch. Just Another Drive-In Movie Star gives me big Glassjaw vibes again. Kyle Hill and Chris Davidson's guitar tone on the opening chorus riff reminds me very much of Glassjaw's song Pretty Lush. By the way, I love the way the song opens with the clip from a baseball game. It's just a fun way to open the song up. Our Disease is Dressed to the Nines is one of my favorites on the record. I love when the song makes it shift down into a halftime tempo. It feels a bit more experimental, and it's so satisfying. Velvet Exposure Therapy continues to show the band's dynamics and its willingness to experiment. This EP feels like a love letter to that early 2000s post-hardcore sound, and I'm here for it. This gets another Pick of the Week nomination from me. Michael, I know I recommended that one to you. You definitely need to check it out and report back.
I plan to.
I also checked out Ecstatic Lullaby's new live record titled And Don't Forget to Breathe Live. This is a live in studio re recording of the American post hardcore band's 2003 debut record. This was done in celebration of the album's 20th ish anniversary and the band's 25th anniversary. The band still packs all the emotional energy in these live recordings. The band sounds tight and as good as they've ever been. Truth be told, I hadn't heard the original version of this album in probably 18 years or so. Listening to this live re-recording, it reminded me of why I liked this album and this band so much back then. Joe Brown's vocals sound just as good, if not better than they were back in 2003. In fact, with his life experience since writing these songs at 18 years old, you could say that the lyrics to these songs have taken a different meaning. Guitarists Dan Arnold and Nicholas Jones sound fantastic and on top of their games. The band's rhythm section of bassist Tyler Gillum and drummer Chris Comeau hold down the fort flawlessly, laying down the backbone of the band's sound flawlessly. The production on this re-recording is slick and polished. If you loved this album back in the day, you're gonna love this revisit. I also checked out the new live record from Our Lady Peace titled OLP 30 Live. This is the band's second live record. It was recorded during the band's 30th anniversary tour in Canada in 2025. I really hadn't listened to Our Lady Peace in quite a while. I was a big fan of their first three records, 1994's Naveed, 1997's Clumsy, and 1999's Happiness Is Not a Fish You Can Catch. Their early sound was characterized by a post-grunge hard rock sound, along with frontman Rain Maida's distinct falsetto and nasally high-pitched vocals. Then, in 2002, the band released Gravity, which marked a huge shift in the band's sound. They went in a more radio-friendly pop rock direction. That's where they have predominantly remained ever since, and I've not been a big fan of it. However, with this being the 30th anniversary of the band, I thought I'd give this live album a chance. Check out some of their old standards that I loved. I found myself disappointed. Maida has adopted this sort of David Bowie crooning vocal style. He often sounds bored and disinterested. He's lost the dynamics in his vocals. He either can't or won't attempt the high-pitched nasally vocals of the early Our Lady Peace records. I'm aware that age changes one's vocals, but this just doesn't sound good. These live renditions of songs like Superman's Dead, Whatever, and Clumsy are really missing Maida's vintage high-pitched vocal style. Without them, these songs are pretty lifeless. The rest of the band sounds really good and tight, just the vocals took me out of it. By the way, we will be covering some Our Lady Peace at some point in our journey, Michael. Last thing I checked out was my continuing journey through the Black Sabbath discography. I got a small start on the Tony Martin era. I checked out The Eternal Idol. Tony Martin completely reminds me of Ronnie James Dio in all the best ways, not only from his vocal style and his vocal range, but also in his writing style. He writes a lot in that fantasy realm that Dio was so fond of. Outstanding record. I'm looking forward to checking out the rest of his era with the band. There were a few other records that came out this week that were a complete surprise to me that I haven't unfortunately had a chance to check out yet. I'll report back on those on the next episode. Michael, you got anything else before we move on?
I do not.
Okay. So now we'll move into the art of discovery. This is our segment where we check out a few bands that are either unsigned or just not getting the amount of love we feel they deserve. We've got a great selection of music for you this time around. We're going to kick things off with a progressive rock band from Greece. This is Inner Eye with their song Yellow Days.
self, programmed with total assurance that we are each somebody, when in fact everybody's nobody.
Yellow days that come and go, I'm gonna meet head on, race with hate
again, that was Inner Eye with their song Yellow Days. That comes from their album Lavender. You can purchase their music from their Bandcamp page, innereye.bandcamp.com. Michael, what'd you think about that?
It's amazing.
Yes, dude. Their vocalist is so good. Guitar players are absolutely outstanding. Drums sound fantastic. I think their sound kind of reminds me a bit of like a mix of maybe more like a mix of like Tool and Carnival.
I could see that.
Yeah, dude. It's great stuff. If you liked that song, dude, you should check out the whole album. It's really, really good.
I will.
All right. Our next song comes from a progressive metal band out of Rhein, Main, Germany. This is Spillflower featuring Failed Star with their song Hollow Shell.
Get on my fucking ass. Get on my fucking ass. Get on my fucking ass. Shut the fuck up. Get up. Get up. I want you to be done. Get up. Get up. Lazy. Get out. Burn. To my voices in my head. Telling me that they want to see me dead. Do you have someone else to tell?
Again, that was Spillflower featuring Failed Star with their song Hollow Shell. You can purchase their music from the iTunes store. Michael, what'd you think about that?
It was amazing. Again.
Dad knows how to pick them, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Outstanding. Yeah. Their music is so good, and that song just goes hard as hell. Great stuff. All right. Our final song comes from a band that we've featured on this show multiple times before. This is a metalcore band out of Frankfurt, Germany. This is Panicwaves with their song Scarce. And once again, that was Panicwaves with their song Scarce. You can purchase their music from the iTunes store. Michael, what'd you think about that one?
It's pretty good.
Pretty damn good, man. These guys are absolutely consistent. They always go hard. Love the vocals, love the guitars, love the drum sound. Their production is always stellar. Love Panicwaves. I would like to go to Germany and check these guys out sometime.
Agreed.
It would be amazing. Michael, you got anything else?
I do not.
All right, well, with that said, we would like to thank all three of the bands that we featured on today's Art of Discovery segment. If you would like to be featured on this segment, feel free to reach out to us at lightmovepod@gmail.com or via one of our various social media accounts. If we dig what we hear, we would love to play your music on the show. All right, and that's going to take us to our main topic. This time around, we're breaking down Metallica's 1986 release, Master of Puppets. Master of Puppets is the third studio album from Metallica and was released on March 3rd, 1986 by Elektra Records. It was recorded in Copenhagen, Denmark at Sweet Silence Studios with producer Flemming Rasmussen. It also is the band's final album featuring bassist Cliff Burton, who unfortunately passed away from a tragic tour bus accident not too long after this album was released. Actually, just a little over 6 months after it was released. Master of Puppets peaked at number 29 on the Billboard 200 and received widespread critical acclaim. Critics praised its music and political lyrics. It's widely regarded to be one of the greatest and most influential metal albums of all time, and is credited with consolidating the American thrash metal scene. It was certified 8 times platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America in 2025 for shipping 8 million copies in the United States, and was later certified 6 times platinum by Music Canada and single platinum by the British phonographic industry. In 2015, Master of Puppets became the first metal recording to be selected by the Library of Congress for preservation in the National Recording Registry for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. Metallica had been motivated to make an album that would impress critics and fans and began writing new material in mid-1985. Lead vocalist and rhythm guitarist James Hetfield and drummer Lars Ulrich were the main songwriters on the album, already titled Master of Puppets. The two had developed ideas in a garage in El Cerrito, California, before inviting bassist Cliff Burton and guitarist Kirk Hammett for rehearsals. Hetfield and Ulrich described the songwriting process as starting with, quote, guitar riffs assembled and reassembled until they start to sound like a song, end quote. After that, the band came up with a song title and topic, and Hetfield wrote lyrics to match the title. Master of Puppets is Metallica's first album not to feature songwriting contributions from former lead guitarist Dave Mustaine. Mustaine claimed he had co-written Leper Messiah based on an old song called The Hills Ran Red. The band denied this, but stated that one section incorporated Mustaine's ideas. Master of Puppets was hailed as a masterpiece by critics outside of the thrash metal audience and cited by some as the genre's greatest album. In a contemporary review, Tim Holmes of Rolling Stone asserted that the band had redefined heavy metal with the technical skill and subtlety showcased on the album, which he described as, quote, the sound of global paranoia, end quote. Kerrang wrote that Master of Puppets, quote, finally put Metallica into the big leagues where they belong, end quote. Editor Tom King said Metallica was at an, quote, incredible songwriting peak, end quote, during the recording sessions, partially because Burton contributed to the songwriting. Current Metallica bassist Robert Trujillo cited Master of Puppets as his favorite album. Quote, I feel Master of Puppets has a lot of everything. It's got instrumentals, it's got great segues, great riffs. It's got one of my favorite songs ever by Metallica, and that song is Disposable Heroes. So anytime I can hear that particular song, count me in. Battery is an amazing song, so it's just got everything that I love about Metallica, end quote. Master of Puppets has appeared in several publications' best album lists. It was ranked number 167 on Rolling Stone's list of 500 greatest albums of all time, maintaining the rating in a 2012 revised list and upgrading to number 97 in a 2020 revised list. The magazine would also later rank it second on its 2017 list of 100 greatest metal albums of all time, behind Black Sabbath's Paranoid. Time included the album in its list of the 100 best albums of all time. The album is featured in Robert Dimery's book, 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. IGN named Master of Puppets the best heavy metal album of all time. The website stated it was Metallica's best because it built upon and perfected everything they had experimented with prior, and that all the pieces come together in glorious cohesion. The album was voted the 4th greatest guitar album of all time by Guitar World in 2006, and the title track ranked number 61 on the magazine's list of the 100 greatest guitar solos. Personnel featured on this record: of course, we've got James Hetfield on rhythm guitar, vocals. He also does acoustic guitars on the song Battery. He does the first guitar solo on the song Master of Puppets and the second guitar solo on Orion. Lars Ulrich on drums and percussion, Cliff Burton on bass and backing vocals, and Kirk Hammett on lead guitar.
A loaded roster.
Yes, sir. All right, Michael, with that bit of background out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into our track-by-track analysis. We'll kick things off with track number 1. This is Battery. Michael, what you got on this?
I like how it starts out slow and then it goes right heavy around like the 30-second mark. Amazing vocals, those drums and the guitar riff is amazing. It's just amazing song. Good opener.
Totally agree. Out of curiosity, what's our buddy Spotify say?
222 million plays, which ranks it
Nice.
second on the record.
Nice. Good call. This one opens up with an acoustic section. It kind of reminds me a bit of something you might hear in a Western. Then the song proper kicks in. The heavy, distorted guitars play the same riff. Lars's drums come thunderously crashing in. Then the song really takes off. We get a ripping thrash riff. When the guitar solo kicks in around the 3-minute 19-second mark, this song really takes off. It's a really tasty lick. This song just has a killer groove. Lars and Burton create this killer pocket and groove. They're in absolute lockstep with each other. Absolutely killer opener. While the lyrics mention Circle of Destruction and Assault and Battery, the song is actually a tribute to the San Francisco thrash scene. The title refers to Battery Street in San Francisco, where the club, the Old Waldorf, was located. This was the home base for Metallica and the burgeoning metal family in the early 80s. The line, "Cannot kill the family, battery is found in me," is James Hetfield's way of saying that even if society hates metal, the family of fans and bands will always have each other's backs. The acoustic intro is actually several layers of guitars, some played forward and some reversed, to create that swelling atmospheric Western tension. Michael, do you have anything else on Battery?
I do not.
Awesome opening song.
Yes.
All right. So we move on from Battery to track number 2, the album title track, the unbelievably amazing Master of Puppets. Michael, what you got on this?
This has 1,245,000,000 plays.
Placing it number 1, I imagine.
Yes.
Woo!
And on Metallica's, it would be third on everything Metallica's done.
Woo! I love it.
That opening riff, if you do not know it, I'm confused. Where do you live? Do you live under a rock? It's probably the most iconic riff.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's the most iconic Metallica riff. I think that still belongs to Enter Sandman.
Yeah, Enter. But it's up there.
Yeah, it's still one of those riffs that, every Metallica fan knows. Maybe even some just general metal fans.
And the vocals on the song and drum work is amazing.
Such a good song.
Yes.
I assume you had heard this before, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured. The intro to this song might be one of the most recognizable intros to a metal song in history. When we get into the song and the main riff kicks in, the groove kicks in. It makes me bang my head every time. I love the guitar riff during the chorus. Absolutely iconic. Hetfield is back with the punk shouting vocals. His shouting of "Obey your master, master," is forever seared into my mind. I also enjoy the syncopation between Lars's drums and Hetfield and Hammett's guitars when Hetfield screams "master, master." It's so satisfying. The song takes a big shift at the 3-minute 34-second mark. We get into the slower, more power ballad feeling section. There's even some extra strings. The guitar work on this section is absolutely killer. We can also get a good listen to the outstanding Burton bass line underneath. Around the 4-minute 48-second mark, the song starts to build back up towards something far darker and heavier. There's this mid-tempo chugging riff as Hetfield returns to the vocals. This quickly gives way to a blazing, face-melting guitar solo. We head back into the main guitar riff with a little less than 2 minutes left as Hetfield delivers the final verse and chorus section. The outro of the song, featuring maniacal laughter, gives a creepy, unsettling vibe to close things out. This is one of the most iconic and well-known songs in the Metallica library for a damn good reason. The song is a direct cautionary tale about drug addiction. Specifically, it personifies the drug as the master and the user as the puppet. James Hetfield told Thrasher magazine in 1988, quote, "It deals pretty much with drugs, how things get switched around. Instead of you controlling what you're taking and doing, it's drugs controlling you," end quote. Kirk Hammett attributes the legendary tone of this song to their first Mesa Boogie Mark II-C heads. He claims those specific amps captured a unique sound that they've never quite been able to recreate. Interestingly, the extra strings that I mentioned, those aren't real orchestral strings. That sound was actually achieved by James and Kirk recording multiple layers of harmonized guitars with a very clean, wet tone to mimic a string section. Kirk Hammett has admitted there's a slight mistake in the solo where a string accidentally pulled off the fretboard, but he loved the weird, jarring sound it made so much that he kept it on the final record. Michael, do you have anything else on the legendary Master of Puppets?
I do not.
Okay. So now we'll move on to track number 3. This is The Thing That Should Not Be. Michael, what you got on this?
I like the opening and that riff that it builds into. You know?
Yes. Good stuff. That opening guitar tone is really unique.
And I like the drum work. It just fits so well with the guitar riff. And I love the vocals. Amazing, amazing.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I gotta say, Lars takes a lot of from the metal music community, sometimes with good reasons, sometimes not. I personally have always enjoyed Lars' drums. He always sounds fantastic, and he sounds great for Metallica, right? He's always got the right groove for Metallica, and that's what's most important. What's Spotify say about this song?
It has 77 million plays.
Very respectable. I like what Spotify has said about this album so far. I haven't had to get angry yet. Yeah, the guitar tone starting the song, like I said, was pretty unique. It's got this dark, sinister sound to it. Then the song kicks into gear. Lars's thundering drums kick in a mid-tempo beat, along with a very heavy, evil-sounding guitar riff from Hetfield and Hammett. The low end on this song is outstanding. The guitars are down-tuned, and the bass provides the additional depth. There's an absolutely wicked sounding guitar solo that comes in around the 3-minute 41-second mark. It even sounds like there's a bit of a dual guitar harmony at one point in the solo. Hetfield's vocal delivery has a sinister edge to it. This is a direct tribute to the cosmic horror of H.P. Lovecraft. Specifically, it references the Cthulhu mythos and the short story The Shadow over Innsmouth. Phrases like messenger of fear in sight and hybrid children watch the sea refer to the monstrous entities and cultists in Lovecraft's work. It's part of a Cthulhu trilogy in Metallica's catalog, alongside The Call of Cthulhu and later Dream No More. This is technically the slowest song on the album. The band wanted to see how heavy they could make a riff without relying on speed. They tuned their guitars down for the first time in the studio specifically to give this track that unsettling weight. Michael, do you have anything else on The Thing That Should Not Be?
I do not.
Okay, so we'll move right along to track number 4. This is Welcome Home Sanitarium, another legendary song in the Metallica catalog. What you got on this, Michael?
165 million plays, which places it at 3rd.
Yes, sir.
I like the opening to the song. It's different.
It is
It's got,
one of
like,
my
some
all-time favorite
atmosphere.
Metallica riffs, for sure.
And I like the vocals, and again, amazing drum work and amazing guitar riffs. Just amazing.
The band just doesn't fail.
Yes.
That opening riff, it's got this 80s bluesy power ballad feel to it. It's just a gorgeous riff. Hetfield's vocals are delivered in a clean style through the verses, growing more angry as we get to the end of the verses. Hetfield and Hammett have some dual guitar harmonies coming out of the chorus. Lars has some outstanding drum fills on this song. Around the 3-minute 41-second mark, the song picks up the pace. We get a chugging guitar section, and Lars and Burton provide a racing rhythm. At the 4-minute 27-second mark, all hell breaks loose as we get into an absolutely blistering guitar solo. The final minute and a half or so of the song is all musical. The guitar work during this section is outstanding. Another absolutely iconic, legendary song. The song is about a man unjustly trapped in a mental asylum. It deals with the themes of insanity and institutional powerlessness. James Hetfield wrote the lyrics as a tribute to the 1975 film One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which starred Jack Nicholson. It captures the protagonist's dream of breaking free in the eventual mutiny or uprising of the patients. Hetfield has said that they wanted a slow, clean, picking type of song like Fade to Black from their previous record, but this time they wanted a big anthemic chorus. This was the first song Metallica ever allowed to be used in a film. It appeared in the documentary Paradise Lost, The Child Murders at Robin Hood Hills, which followed the West Memphis 3 case. The band felt the themes of being caged and misunderstood fit the story. Michael, had you ever heard this song before you listened to the album?
Nope.
No? Interesting. Did you like this song?
Yes.
Right on. By the way, have we come across your favorite song on the record yet?
Yes.
I assume it's the title track.
Yes.
Yeah. Understandably so. All right, Michael, anything else on Welcome Home Sanitarium?
No.
Okay. So we'll move right along to track number 5. This is Disposable Heroes. Michael, what you got on this?
Another epic opening riff
Yes, sir.
with the drum work. It just works so well. Just amazing. I just love that riff. There's not much I can say more about it.
It just rips, dude.
Yeah. Just amazing. And vocals are amazing as ever. This
Lars'
has 80 million
drum
plays.
work on the song is really good too.
This has 80 million plays.
Respectable. I'm still not mad. It's respectable.
The lowest we'll get is 53 million.
That's not too bad. Maybe I'm not going to get mad this episode. Yeah, this one wastes no time at all getting into the ripping heavy riffs. If you like blazing guitar licks, the beginning of this song has it all for you. Hammett and Hetfield get into these super fast, thrashy riffs, but there's still a lot of melody to be found. At times, the guitar riffs feel like they'd be right at home on a death metal album. Burton's bass work is outstanding on this song. Hetfield's vocals have a sinister, growling edge to them. Around the 4-minute 26-second mark, we get a killer guitar solo. There's a lot of transitions in this song, going between these more mid-tempo groove metal moments and then into the faster thrash metal moments. Lars navigates these transitions seamlessly. His drum work is absolutely thunderous. He's got some monstrous fills in this song. This might be one of the proggiest songs on the record. This is a blistering anti-war anthem. It's written from the perspective of a young soldier who realizes he's just a pawn, a quote, disposable asset to the generals and politicians safe at home. The phrase disposable heroes is actually found in the Ray Bradbury book Fahrenheit 451. It fits the album's theme of lack of control perfectly. This was the last time, for a very long time, until the mid-90s, that Lars Ulrich used his ride cymbal significantly in a recording. He famously grew to dislike the sound of it and relied almost entirely on crashes and hi-hats for years afterward. Michael, do you have anything else on Disposable Heroes?
I do not.
Okay, so we'll move right along to track number 6. This is Leper Messiah. Michael, what you got on this?
I like the vocals, and I love the riff on this song. It's nice and grabbing. And the drum work is amazing, too. Just an amazing song.
What's Spotify have to say?
This has 57 million.
Right on. Sounds like the majority of listeners are album listeners on this album, right?
Yeah.
It's good numbers.
It's a change.
It's good numbers. This song has a bit of an off-kilter groove to start off with, almost like some wicked creature is slowly lumbering its way towards you. As we work into the first verse, we get a very evil-sounding guitar riff. The guitar tone has that heavy-as-hell feel to it. The song is a mid-tempo song, not nearly as fast as the previous song. This song feels like it was written with the express purpose of getting people's head banging. Around the 3-minute 15-second mark, the song takes a dramatic shift and becomes much faster and thrashier. Around the 3-minute 57-second mark, we get another very tasty guitar solo. I have to take my hat off to Lars and Burton for being able to carry the rhythm of the song, especially with those off-kilter moments. It's not my favorite song on the record, but it is one of the more orally interesting ones for sure. This song is a scathing critique of televangelism and organized religion's manipulation of the faithful for money. James Hetfield's strained relationship with religion stems from his mother's death, as her beliefs as a Christian Scientist led her to refuse medical treatment for cancer. Lines like "send me money, send me green, heaven you will meet" are direct shots at preachers who trade seats in heaven for cash. The phrase "Leper Messiah" was actually borrowed from the David Bowie song Ziggy Stardust. In that song, lyrics like making love with his ego, Ziggy sucked up into his mind like a leper messiah. Metallica took the phrase and gave it a much darker religious connotation. There's a long-standing story behind Dave Mustaine in this song. Dave Mustaine has claimed for years that he wrote the main riff for this song. Metallica has always denied it, and the credits remain solely with Hetfield and Ulrich. It's a classic piece of metal lore that still sparks debates today. Michael, do you have anything else on Leper Messiah?
No, I do not.
Okay. So we'll move right along to track number 7. This is Orion. Michael, what you got on this?
160 million plays.
Dude, let me just tell you how much that makes my heart happy. This is an instrumental, and as you and I have seen with Spotify, with the albums we've covered, instrumentals typically don't get a lot of listens. This makes my heart so happy.
Amazing riffs all through this song. Do you agree?
Yeah, dude. This song is just absolutely gorgeous. What else you got?
It's an instrumental. It's okay to me. I'm not the biggest fan of instrumentals. I like my full-fledged vocals and all that. But others enjoy, so.
The musicianship on the song is top-notch, dude.
Yes, I will agree on that.
So, not only is this an instrumental track, but it's the second longest track on the record. It was primarily written by Cliff Burton as a means to showcase his bass playing. The song slowly fades in for about 48 seconds. The music during the fade-in is actually Burton's bass that has been heavily processed to sound like an orchestra. The guitar solos on the song were even put together by Burton. The first part of the song after the intro is a pretty heavy, standard hard rocking sound that does include a guitar solo section. Burton and Lars are absolutely in the zone during this section, laying down a killer groove. Around the 3-minute 53-second mark, the song takes a shift. The song gets a little more spacey and bluesy. Burton's bass line is so good here. Around the 5-minute 40-second mark, we get into a bit of dual guitar harmonies from Hetfield and Hammett. Around the 6-minute 18-second mark, we get into a bluesy guitar solo. Around the 6-minute 57-second mark, the song transitions into more classic heavy metal territory with a blazing guitar solo and a chugging riff. Lars brings in the double kick drums. This section carries us out. This song is a Prog-tallica classic. As an instrumental, it doesn't have lyrics, but it's widely considered a cosmic journey and a definitive showcase of Cliff Burton's unique musical vision. The band has often viewed it as a tribute to Burton's profound influence on their sound. That orchestral sound from the beginning was achieved by Burton using a bass wah pedal and heavy distortion to create swelling notes that mimicked strings. Orion was played at Cliff Burton's funeral following the tragic bus accident in September 1986. For years, the band refused to play the full song live because it was so deeply tied to his memory. The bridge, the melodic bridge that I made mention of at the 3-minute 53-second mark, actually features 3 different tracks of Cliff's bass playing in harmony with each other, a technique usually reserved for lead guitars. Pretty crazy. Very talented dude. Gone far too soon. Michael, do you have anything else on Orion?
I do not.
Okay. So now we'll get into the final track on the record. This is Damage Inc. Michael, what you got on this?
Alright, so I'm going to start out with a couple of fun facts. One, this is the only song on the whole entire record that has a parental advisory on it.
Fair
2.
enough.
Lowest plays on the record at 53 million.
It's still not bad, though. 53 million is very respectable, even despite the fact of being the lowest.
And I love the beginning and the riff throughout the song. Amazing. It's nice. It keeps up a good pace throughout the song, you know?
Yep, I agree.
Amazing song.
This track opens with about 1 minute 18 seconds of what sounds like a guitar riff being played in reverse. It's really weird and unsettling. Did you notice that, Michael?
Yes.
This gives way to the song proper, featuring a thrashy metal guitar riff and Lars carrying an up-tempo beat on the drums. Hetfield growls out the lyrics to the verses, but delivers the chorus/title of the song in a whisper, as if the name is not to be said aloud for fear of what it may evoke. You know, it's kind of like Harry Potter and Voldemort, right?
Yeah.
At the 3 minute 49 second mark, we blast off into a blazing guitar solo. In the final minute of the song, Hetfield delivers the final verse. The song appropriately closes with him whispering Damage Incorporated one last time. While not my favorite album closer of all time, this track does go hard as hell. The song is a blistering critique of senseless violence and the corporate or industrial nature of war and destruction. It deals with the idea of a cycle of violence that humans cannot seem to break. The reverse sound that I mentioned that I found unsettling was created by Cliff Burton. He recorded multiple layers of bass harmonies based on a Bach choral and then played the tapes backward to create that eerie, swelling atmosphere. This song is technically the fastest song on the album, clocking in at approximately 185 to 190 beats per minute during the main thrash sections. It was intentionally placed at the end to serve as a final high-speed punch to the listener's gut. It certainly served that purpose.
It did.
All right, Michael, anything else on Damage Incorporated?
I do not have anything else.
Okay. So now we'll move into our final thoughts and our overall album ratings. Michael, let's get your final thoughts and your overall album rating out of 5.
Amazing album. I really enjoyed it. I believe that it should get a 5 out of 5.
Michael scores it 5 out of 5. Out of curiosity, Michael, now that you've heard Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets both in full, which album do you like better?
This one.
You like this one better?
Yes.
Any particular reason why?
No particular reason. I just like it better.
Just identify with the songs more? Like they
Yeah.
get into your head more? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of Metallica fans would probably agree with your assessment. For me, while Ride the Lightning remains my favorite Metallica record, there's no question that Master of Puppets is a notch above from a technical and songwriting standpoint. The band incorporates some proggy elements into the music. The album goes hard, but it's not just pure heavy for the sake of being heavy. There's a lot of melody present. I think Master of Puppets is Cliff Burton's magnum opus. I think there's no better evidence of this than the instrumental song Orion. Sadly, Burton would pass away in a tragic, horrific tour bus accident a little over 6 months after the release of the album. His legacy lives on in the music of Metallica, though. Without his influence, Metallica's music may never have gotten to the melodic places it's gone in. James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett are simply outstanding all throughout as well. When they go into their dual guitar harmonies, it's pure metal magic. Lars Ulrich's drum work is equally fantastic. The combination of he and Burton and the pockets they created are legendary. I love Master of Puppets, a legendary album for a legendary band. It gets a 4.75 out of 5 for me.
Good rating.
All right, and that's gonna take us to our question for the audience. What is your favorite track on Master of Puppets and why? All right, that's gonna take us to our next segment. This is Can't Wait, new music coming soon. Michael, anything on your list coming out over the next couple of weeks?
I'm gonna let you go into your list.
Okay.
Because I found some things that are on your list.
Okay. All right, so for me over the next couple of weeks, on May 22nd, Dance Gavin Dance drops their new record, Tree City Sessions 3. And on May 29th, Devin Townsend drops his new record, The Moth. I Built the Sky drops their new record, Promise Me You'll Thrive. Elder drops their new record, Through Zero. And Shinedown drops their new record, 8. Recently announced, on July 10th, If These Trees Could Talk drops their new record, The Hidden Hand. And on September 18th, Anthrax drops their long-awaited new record. It's been 10 years since their last record. Their long-awaited new record, Cursum Perficio. And I have heard the first single that they have dropped from that record, titled It's For the Kids, and I love it. It's got that classic thrash groove. The lyrics, the content of the lyrics are perfectly apropos to today's environment. Outstanding song. Can't wait for this record. Michael, what caught your eye, buddy?
The things that caught my eye was the Shinedown record and the Devin Townsend record.
I figured, I think once you hear Anthrax for the first time, you're going to want to hear their new record too. All right, Michael, anything else before we move on?
I have nothing else.
Okay. So now we'll move into our final segment. This is Michael's journey, discovering a song from the past. And this time, we're going to get Michael's thoughts on Go West's King of Wishful Thinking. This is a song that was written by Peter Cox, Richard Drummey, and Martin Page. It originally appeared in the film Pretty Woman and was later included on Go West's third studio album, Indian Summer, in 1992. King of Wishful Thinking has become Go West's best-known song. The track reached number 3 in Canada, number 6 in Australia, number 8 in the United States, and number 18 in the United Kingdom. At the 1991 Brit Awards, the song was nominated for the Brit Award for British Video of the Year. Music journalist Hannah Daly of the U.S. publication Billboard has labeled the song as, quote, one of the crown jewels of 90s classic hits, end quote. Featured personnel on this song: Peter Cox on lead vocals, backing vocals, and keyboards, Richard Drummey on backing vocals, keyboards, and guitars, Peter Wolf on keyboards and drum programming, David Williams on guitars, Dan Higgins on saxophones, Larry Williams also on saxophones, Gary Grant on trumpet, Jerry Hay on trumpet and horn arrangements, Lynn Davies on backing vocals, Philip Ingram on backing vocals, Dorian Holly on backing vocals, and Alfie Silas also on backing vocals. The song was certified gold in Australia, platinum in New Zealand, and gold in the United Kingdom. And Michael, with that little bit of background out of the way, let's get your thoughts on this song.
An amazing song, nice and catchy with the beat. I like the beat a lot. Vocals are amazing. Just an amazing song.
I love the messaging of the song, man. The messaging of the song is so good. It's trying to be upbeat despite the melancholy situation. Had you ever heard this song before?
No.
So this one was completely new to you. Awesome.
Yep.
Well, for me, this is another one of those songs that when I hear the opening keyboards, I instantly know what it is. This song has all the hallmarks of being an 80s pop ballad, despite the fact that it was first released in 1990. There's such an infectious rhythm to this song. The keyboard work from Peter Cox, Richard Drummey, and Peter Wolf feels bright and upbeat. By contrast, Peter Cox's lyrics are painting an emotional picture about a man trying to get over the pain of a breakup. He's doing his best to keep a positive attitude about it. He's trying to convince himself that he'll move on and be better for it. Cox has a terrific voice and vocal range. There's a lot of emotion and melancholy in his delivery, but there's also a prevailing sense of hope. The backing vocals provided by Drummey, Lynn Davies, Philip Ingram, Dorian Holley, and Alfie Silas are also top-notch. There's a church choir feel to them. They add a layer of additional atmosphere and harmony to the song. I have to also shout out the added brass section on this song. It adds so much depth and brightness to the song. It also feels nostalgic and quintessentially 80s. The arrangements are fantastic. It's a perfect encapsulation of the hopefulness and optimism that I felt in the early 90s. Michael, let's get your rating out of 5 on this song.
I'd give it a 5 out of 5.
Michael gives it a perfect score. Is this a song that made your playlist, sir?
No, but I haven't gone on the mass adding thing in a while, so
Will Master of Puppets be making the playlist?
possibly.
All right, Michael. So up next on your journey, we're going to cover Joe Cocker's With a Little Help from My Friends. And for our main topic on the next episode, I've got something lined up, but I wanted to offer you a choice. You seemed awful happy with the new Periphery record. We kind of discussed it in brief at the top of the show, so I'm going to offer you a choice. We can either discuss the album that I have planned, or we can call an audible and go with a discussion on Periphery's new record, A Pale White Dot. What you want to do?
I think we call an audible.
Okay. So, for our main topic on the next episode, we're going to cover Periphery's brand new record, A Pale White Dot, and we will move my currently scheduled album to another time. With that said, we want to hear from you. We will read your emails and messages on the show. We have only one request. Keep them clean. There are several ways to contact us. You can email us at lightmovepod@gmail.com. You can also reach us on several social media platforms such as Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads. Details on how to connect with us are in the show notes. We are part of the SPDM Crew Podcast Network. Check out all of the podcasts on the network by visiting spdmcrew.com.
If you like the show, subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform and share with your friends and family. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and a variety of other platforms. We're also on YouTube. Can't find us on your chosen platform? Shoot us a message and let us know. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. This helps us be found in the algorithm. Make them good and we'll read them on the air. Are you in a band and you'd like for us to check you out and possibly drop a recommendation on the show? Shoot us a message. We'd love to check you out and give you a shout. We'd like to thank you very much for listening to the Leitmotif and Movement podcast.
Take care and enjoy music.